Welcome back to Learn English Naturally. Ready for another deep dive? Today we're tackling something that's not only fun, but super useful for boosting your conversational English. Hobbies.
You got it. Being able to chat about what you love to do, that's like a secret weapon for smoother, more engaging English conversations. Really helps you connect with people too.
So true. Okay, so why is talking about hobbies so essential for English learners? Why are we doing a whole deep dive on this?
Well, think about it. Hobbies are a big part of who we are, right? They give others a glimpse into our world, what we're into, what gets us excited. But it's not just about sharing information.
There's more to it than just saying, I like to, I don't know, cook or something.
Exactly. It's all about using the right words, those phrases that let you truly express yourself, show your enthusiasm, connect with someone on a deeper level. Imagine you're meeting someone new. You could just say, I like music.
Yeah, pretty basic.
Right. But what if you said, I'm absolutely obsessed with jazz. I could listen to it all day.
Okay, yeah, that's way more interesting.
See, one's just a fact. The other, it's showing passion, personality.
Gotcha. So how do we build up our conversational toolbox to talk about hobbies in English? Where do we even start?
First things first, vocabulary. Can't express your love for something if you don't have the words for it, Reem.
Makes sense. So someone asked me, what do you like to do in your free time? What are some cool hobbies I could mention that would, get the conversation going?
Well, something popular worldwide, playing video games. Not just fun, but a sneaky way to learn new English words and phrases, too.
Now, that's a hobby I can get behind. But even with something common like playing video games, clear pronunciation is key.
Oh, absolutely. You want to be understood, especially when you're talking about something you love. Playing along is sound Champalace play, then videos at g.io, and finally, games.
Idioms. Breaking it down like that, yeah, it makes it much easier to get it right. And once you've nailed the words, you can start putting them together. I enjoy playing video games in my free time like that.
Exactly. Now, how about something more hands-on, like gardening, relaxing, connecting with nature, maybe even growing your own food?
I love that, gardening. But honestly, that ing ending always trips me up.
It's a tricky one. Focus on that ending. Sarzo.Darren. The garlic and cardan, like in den, and that clear ing sound for ing.
Thought is it on ink and delicadian. Okay, I think I'm getting it. But even if I mispronounce a word or two, the important thing is to just keep talking, right?
100%. Don't let fear of making a mistake stop you. Practice makes perfect, or at least, more confident.
Speaking of confidence, let's move on to some useful phrases. Those phrases that can really help you express yourself naturally when talking about your passions.
Love that you called it a conversational toolbox. It's a great way to think about it. These phrases, they're like building blocks. You can use them to make more complex, more engaging sentences.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's start with talking about OUR hobbies. What are some phrases that really pack a punch and show we're genuinely excited about something?
One of my go-tos, I'm really into. Simple, but it works. Instead of, I like photography, you could say, I'm really into photography.
Oh, I see. Adds a bit more energy. What are some other ways to show that passion?
You could try, I'm passionate about, a bit more formal, but it really shows how much you love that activity.
Those are good.
Yeah.
But what if we want to find out about someone else's hobbies?
Time for some clever questions. Ditch the boring, what are your hobbies? Try something like, what do you like to do in your free time? Much more inviting, don't you think?
Totally.
Yeah.
Way less like an interrogation.
Yeah.
And to be even more specific, maybe, have you ever tried, and then an activity. Like, have you ever tried rock climbing?
Exactly. It invites them to share their experience or maybe even think about trying something new.
It's all about sparking that conversation, right? Now, what if I want to express a preference for one hobby over another without, being rude?
The art of being diplomatic. Balance honesty with politeness. Instead of blurting out, I hate sports, try, I'm not really a sports person, but I love dancing. Much smoother. So you're acknowledging one thing, but not shutting down the conversation. And you're highlighting something you do enjoy.
You got it. Subtly steering the conversation towards something you're more comfortable with. You could also use, I prefer, or I'd rather.
Like, I prefer outdoor activities like hiking and cycling, or I'd rather watch movies than read books. Clear, direct, but still friendly.
What's interesting is how even tiny differences in phrasing can show your personality. I enjoy hiking feels different from I'm obsessed with hiking.
Totally. Like choosing the right outfit, making sure your words fit you and the conversation.
Exactly. But just memorizing these phrases isn't enough.
You mean it's about how to use them, right? Make them flow naturally in a real conversation.
You got it. And that's what we'll be tackling in the next part of our deep dive. We'll bring these phrases to life, show you how they work in actual conversations.
Can't wait. This is where it gets good.
All right, you ready to see these phrases in action?
Let's do it. Bring on the conversations. Okay, so first dialogue is all about asking about hobbies and, making a connection. We've got Emma and Jake. I'll be Emma, you be Jake.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's see what Jake's all about.
Here we go. Hey, Jake, what do you like to do in your free time?
Well, I'm really into playing the guitar and singing a bit too. How about you, Emma? What are you passionate about?
That's cool. I love painting and drawing. It's so relaxing and creative,
Wow, that's awesome. Have you ever, thought about selling your artwork?
Thanks. I've sold a few pieces here and there, but mostly it's just for fun.
See, that felt so natural. I love how Emma started with, what do you like to do in your free time? It's open-ended, not pushy at all.
Exactly. And Jake, using I'm really into to show his enthusiasm. Plus, he kept the conversation going, asked Emma about her passions.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. And Emma didn't just list her hobbies, she added a little something about why she enjoys them. Makes her sound more, real.
You're getting it. Okay, next dialogue. Finding common ground through a shared hobby. This time it's Chris and Lisa. I'll be Lisa, you be Chris.
All right, let's see if Chris and Lisa hit it off.
Let's find out.
Hey Lisa, any fun plans for the weekend?
Planning on going hiking with some friends. I'm really into, exploring the outdoors, getting some exercise.
No way.
Huh?
I'm a huge hiking fan myself. Try to go at least once a week. Where are you guys hiking?
We're thinking about Redwood Regional Park. Heard it's beautiful this time of year.
I've heard great things about that park. I've been meaning to go. Mind if I tag along?
Not at all. The more the merrier. We'd love to have you.
Love how Chris used no way when he found out they both like hiking. Such a casual way to show he's excited.
It is. And instead of just, I like hiking too, he talked about how often he goes. Shows he's really into it,
And Lisa was so welcoming. The more the merrier. Perfect way to invite someone along.
Right. Creates that sense of, we're all in this together, enjoying the same thing, ready for our last dialogue.
Hit me with it.
Okay, this one's all about traveling. Sophie and Mike. I'll be Sophie, you be Mike.
Got it. Let's travel the world.
All right. Mike, if I had to pick one favorite hobby, it would definitely be traveling.
Me too. It's the best way to experience different cultures, really broaden your horizons. What's the most memorable place you've been to?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I've been lucky enough to travel to a lot of amazing places, but if I had to choose, I'd say Japan. The culture was so rich, so fascinating, and the food, incredible.
Japan's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah.
What was it about the culture that you found so fascinating?
Everything was just so different from what I was used to, the traditions, the customs, even how people interacted with each other. It was like stepping into a whole other world.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I can see why it would be so memorable.
So what stood out to you in those dialogues? Any phrases, any techniques you think our listeners would find helpful?
I loved how natural the conversations felt. The way they used different phrases to show their enthusiasm, what they prefer, sounded like real people chatting, not just reading from a script.
Right. And that's the goal. We don't want to sound like robots. We want to use language in a way that feels, genuine.
Totally. So how can our listeners actually UEC what we've learned today? Like in real life?
Practice, practice, practice. Talk with friends, language partners, even just yourself in the mirror. The more you use these phrases, the more natural they'll feel.
Yeah, it's about way more than just words, right?
Yeah.
It's about those connections, those shared passions that bring people together.
It really is. And it's amazing how hobbies can tell us so much about a person. It's like they help us connect on a deeper level.
Oh, for sure. You're just by talking about someone's hobbies, you get a sense of who they are, what's important to them. It's like a window into their personality almost.
Exactly. Someone who's super into extreme sports, they might be more adventurous, love taking risks. Someone who loves reading or knitting, they might be more thoughtful, enjoy their own company.
It's like hobbies are a shortcut to understanding someone. Find that common ground, even if your interests are totally different at first glance.
Absolutely. And those connections, they can be so rewarding. Finding a new hiking buddy, bonding over music, or even just having a better conversation with a coworker.
It's all about those little things that bring us together. So any last bits of advice for our listeners who want to, use hobbies to level up their English?
Don't be afraid to just go for it. Talk to your friends, find a language partner, even chat with yourself in the mirror. The more you use these phrases, these words we've talked about, the more natural it'll feel.
Couldn't agree more. And remember, it should be fun. Let your personality shine through, share what you love, and enjoy connecting with others. That's what it's all about.
And who knows, you might discover a new hobby along the way, or a hidden talent you never even knew you had.
That's the best part of trying new things. Well, thanks for joining us on Learn English Naturally. We hope you loved this deep dive into, well, talking about hobbies in English. Don't forget to subscribe and come back for our next episode. We'll be exploring another awesome part of the English language. Until then, keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep having fun with it.